when I pick up on those tones, so that's what you're really wanting to project with that when you are posting. So I would encourage you, go take an evaluation. Look at your Instagram. Does it show that? Because that's the goal. All right, so with that visual is how to post. We're gonna get into this. You know what you're gonna post, that brand statement. It might feel a little fuzzy, but we're gonna dig into it. And now how you are going to post that. So you are going to share your life. This is the number one thing that I think in everything I post and share, and we'll tie it in. Share your life in a way that serves others. So we're gonna dig into what it means, but visually, I want you to see these examples. Visually, what that means is that when I come to your feed, it doesn't look like a photo album of just about your family. Because you gotta give them a reason to click follow so that you can start connecting. Now, we all know what this is. If I go to the feed and I just see selfies or pictures of their kids or what they ate for lunch, I'm like, okay, I don't know who she is, so why would I choose to follow? But if I see that person creating her content in a way that seems to serve me, so maybe that looks like something of, I have one that says, to the overwhelmed mom, and that's the text on the cover photo, that immediately tells the audience it's not just about Amber, she's speaking to people, right? So that is the goal with your cover photos. And a really quick trick, you guys, I've got 4 kids, we homeschool, I gotta keep everything fast and easy, is I just set my phone up against a mason jar of milk or something, and I hit record, and I will video just our life and take screenshots out of that video to make really quick cover photos that say it's not just about me. This is for you too, so they'll click follow. Okay, so 5 different content styles. So you know what to post, you know how you want it to look, which friends, you'll just keep getting better and better the more you do it, so don't judge yourself too soon. Next is the content styles. I wanted to give you this because I think it's really helpful to think of your social media feed like a magazine, right? And a magazine would have a letter to editor, a how-to, a hack. They have helpful articles in there about women that would pick up that magazine. So sports and fitness is gonna be different than Joanna Gaines, right? That's how I like to think about this. So here's an example of different content styles for stay-at-home moms. And I did this because when I started posting on Instagram, and I know we have a lot of moms in here, I remember thinking my life is so boring. I'm like, has anyone thought that? I'm just around kids, I had little toddlers at the time, I'm just wiping noses and changing diapers. But here's a way that if you use these content styles and you think, what can I give to the audience instead of making it about me? How can I talk about how I make diaper changes easy? What I do for my sick kids when they have runny noses, what I ate for lunch to get protein in. You're doing so many things in your day to survive and get through it or thrive in it that you can give back to the audience. Nothing is too small because I want you to remember the goal is not virality, the goal is to connect with other people, right? So here's an example of my old Instagram account, and here is the new one. One is a photo album of me. One, hopefully, says, this is not just about Amber. It might be my life, but I'm gonna try to serve you through it in just the day-to-day thing, right? Here's an example of my old stories. So the great thing about this all ties into stories. So my old stories, I had to go way, way back in the archive. They are all focused on just me. It's documenting my day, and it's self-focused. Why would someone other than my mom and my best friends care to see any of this, right? Like, just being honest. So when I shifted over to how can I show up on my stories, but make it about the audience, the viewer, my thought was, I always want them to go, oh, I can't miss Amber's stories. That was my thought, because she's gonna drop some hack or some tip or some cute something and share it because it's for them, right? So here's an example of how that ties in. I'm gonna give you one of my other tricks with stories. This is my favorite for all of the busy people out here. This is called a micro story. It has 3 parts, and I do this all the time. I will use the same moment, because remember, they don't care what I do after breakfast. I'm gonna use the same moment, set the stage, something that incorporates emotion, because we always want people to feel something, give them value that causes engagement. So you can see, instead of giving my pancake recipe, I say, send me a heart and I'll send you my pancake recipe. Shout out to Trisha Rieger for that beauty. And then the third is engagement. So this is where then I ask them about themselves, right? It could be something like, are you a breakfast person or no? Something to cause conversation so that I can get in the DMs, because that's the most important thing, right? And friends, someone asked me the other day, how do you do stories when you're in your busy day and it feels like it's disrupting the moment? And I was like, I batch that content. So I might film this for breakfast, and you might see those stories the next day, because I don't want to disrupt this moment with my family. I don't need to stop instantly and create it. I can put that up tomorrow because it's for the viewer, right? Huge, huge tip with that. And that allows you to be consistent, because that is the goal here. Just like if you wanted to meet new people in your town, you couldn't show up to the moms group once or twice, right? You have to show up over and over and over again. You have to introduce yourself. You have to be there if you want to make new friends. It's the same thing with consistency. All right, so we did, all right, we're gonna go into 2 ways to share Plexus, because we've talked about your brand, which is the most important thing, because people are gonna connect with you, but how to incorporate Plexus in here. Now, personally, I will drop little hints of Plexus on my feed. It's in my highlights. Sometimes I'll put up some before and afters, put up the before and after, and I'll leave it for about 24 hours and then take it down, because I want someone to come to my wall, my Instagram feed, and not go, oh, she sells Plexus, I already use that, I don't need to follow, right? Or, oh, I'm using something else, or, oh, I've tried that before. I want them to click in so I can start connecting, so I can impact them. So it's there, but it's not the first thing there. So I really use stories, and I found that to be really effective. So I like to layer exposures. This is huge. You can do this every single day. Like Kinley said about Jill mixing up her pink drink and active, it just becomes familiar and normal every single day. But also show the business. Y'all are on trainings and Zooms and doing phone calls and 3-way chats. You're sitting on the couch with your phone. Show that every day. Just like you want people to believe that you're serious about your products, you want them to believe you're serious about your business. So talk about that, right? Okay, so that's the layer part. How do we do Plexus? So I will do about once a week, sometimes twice, depending on how I'm feeling, a full Plexus offer. That's what I call this. And I follow a 4P method. The first slide is gonna start with a personal moment, because remember, I want them to go, oh, Amber, I like her. So it's gonna be something with my kids or just something personal. And then it goes into a problem. And I'm gonna draw out a problem that speaks directly to them. So I'm gonna say, do you feel or do you think, with our skincare friends, do you feel dull? Does your skin feel this way? Do you wish you had more glow? Like so many things we do with skincare, right? And then you're gonna put real testimonies next, because we're visual people. If I do stories without testimonies, it's shocking to me, the drastic. So put some testimonies on. And then the next is gonna be a poll where they can click in for more information. And I give them 2 options. Send me info, or I already love it. Those are the only 2 options, right? And that is how I do a full Plexus offer in multiple different ways, and it keeps it really simple and very effective. All right, so we did posting. Now we're jumping into interacting, which remember I told you is the most important thing, because we don't want to show up to that party and never go meet people and hope they come to us. You are not, I really want to drive this home, you are not putting up that content so that you get 100,000 followers. You're not putting up that content so you go viral. you're putting up that content so you have a presence that other people can connect with, okay? So it's not being perfect, it's showing up. All right, so interacting, because this is the second piece. There's two main ways to interact. And by interact, I mean create conversation. Like actually get people to talk to you, which is the goal. You can, one, leave a well-written comment on other people's accounts. So have you ever noticed when you see a post and you just click comments, we all do that, right? Like, let's see what other people are saying. Hit comments, and a comment will stand out to you if it's a couple sentences. That's like more than a heart emoji. Leave really good comments on accounts of people that you know your type of woman would also follow that person or engage with that person. I have had it before where I've just left a comment and had hundreds of people like the comment, and people come to my page and say, I found you from that comment you left on so-and-so. I actually talked to an Emerald in here today, and she said she's Brittany Howard's level 1, and that Brittany Howard, that this Emerald had left a comment on a post of an influencer type person, and Brittany had messaged her from the comment and said, you seem like a wise woman. Can I ask you what you think about such and such? And then she started following Brittany, and a couple months down the road, joined her in Flexus, and now she's an Emerald, right? That's an example of the power of seeking interaction. All right, the second way is to find large accounts that your type of person would follow. So like I have a well-known Bible study account. There's a homeschool mom account that's really popular that has like hundreds of thousands of millions of followers. And I will go to that account, look at her most recent post, go to the comments section, and you're gonna look for well-written comments. That's the best. You know they're real chatty people. That's what we like. And then do you see this highlighted circle ring around her face? That shows you that one, they have an active public profile, and two, they have stories up right then. So by those four factors, I know this woman also likes the same stuff I like. She might like me. She has a public account. She has active stories up, and she likes to connect. Perfect person to send a virtual nice to meet you message. So here's an example of what that looks like. Make it your own, don't copy and paste mine, but it's just a way to say, like Brittany did for her Emerald. I didn't even know this story till I met her in the hall. Just saying, hey, I saw you follow such and such, or you popped up on my Instagram feed. What are you? I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I spend my day, I have a farm. I'm working on building, because you're posting constantly, right? I'm working on building a hopefully helpful space for other mamas in that realm. And I want to make social media social again, so I thought I'd say hello and end with any kind of question. How long do you homeschool too? Have you done any of those Bible studies before? Any type of conversation, because once again, this is like showing up to the party and shaking hands and saying, tell me about yourself, I'm so-and-so. Now, you're gonna send probably 10 of those messages and get one response back. And that is normal. You're gonna send those messages, and one thing we noticed in our team and other teams is that it takes multiple days for people to get back to you, because maybe they just didn't see it or it went to the hidden folder. But continue to extend that handshake instead of saying, oh, it's not working. Keep working at it and you will get those results. Stories have proven this, right? So that's your virtual handshake. And when I shared this with some people, they said, okay, Amber, but then how do we move the conversation to Flexus? And I would encourage you to kind of step back and remember you're having this conversation to do what network marketers do best, to network. I want to bring all these women into my circle, and then if I have opportunity, and I will look for that opportunity that is natural, I say, hey, I could even make a direct offer. I'm not sure if you've seen any of my Flexus stories. I know we have shared values and so many things in common, and I just wanted to take the time to offer info about it personally. It's really blessed my family. Just a genuine message, right? But after we connected a little bit, And by connection, I don't mean relationship. You're not looking to make a bunch of best friends, but just have rapport with someone to where they say, oh, Amber sent me a message. I know her. I've seen her stuff come across my feed. She messaged me once, right? That is enough. So with that, I want to round this all out because I'm hoping to leave you more clear on your social media checklist. Now, I gave this a lot of thought and really tried to put in what order was most important to least in what's going to grow your business. So first, when you open that phone, you're going to offer Plexus to current connections. Be brave, be bold. Remember my words. They don't need to be your best friend. They just need to know who you are and it not be really random, right? To land well and do them the service of them actually hearing your message. That's why you're doing this. So offer Plexus first, always. Follow up on past conversations, and then go start new ones with that virtual handshake message. Then you're gonna put up a piece of content. You saw how our messaging came behind the content, because that's just your backup. So that's you showing up to the party. And then lastly, go comment with intention on other people's content. So you see what we don't have on this list is scrolling. If you can take the challenge of 7 days, I'm not gonna scroll for 7 days. I know the big accounts I'm gonna go to find people to message, and scrolling also kills our creativity. There's no comparison trap like you get from scrolling social media, because you're gonna have to remember, I'm not posting to go viral or have the most amazing reel. I'm posting to show up and network, right? And this is the way you do it. So to wrap this up, my hope is that you feel freed from the frustration that social media can or maybe has brought, and that together we can get back to doing what we do best, network and connecting with people, and making an impact on people's lives instead of trying to be impressive. And Ed said it today, it's valuing the one over the masses, right? So if you resonate with this, this is our new mission statement. We are the new wave of network